Mom, where are you right now? We're getting ready to meet up right now.
No way. It's already time for that? Why didn't you tell me earlier to get ready to go there? This is why I'm always saying you're terrible at planning and should learn to actually do things on time.
You're the only person that ever says that about me.
Compared to your skills, your little sister Martha is always doing everything right. Honestly, I shouldn't even be comparing her to you, considering she is just so amazing.
I guess so. Now, how about you tell me where you're at?
Right now, I'm with Martha, going shopping.
You've gone out shopping?
Martha has taken me out to get me something with her first paycheck. She really is such a loving and caring child, isn't she? I don't ever remember you doing anything like this for me when you got your first paycheck.
Well, if you want me to remind you, I went and took both you and Dad out for dinner with my first paycheck.
Did you really?
Anyway, none of that matters right now, Mom. Right now, we're all meeting up.
Well, I'm not going to make it.
What? You're not? What are you talking about, Mom? Your daughter is going to get married, and you're not going to come and see her fiancé's parents? How could you do something like that to me? I told you a while back about how this would be happening today and where we'd be meeting at, right?
Well, something that's impossible for me to get to is just not happening. I'm with your sister shopping right now, and I can't just leave her.
What? So you're just going to cancel on us then? My fiancé has made sure to get all his family here to see you. And his parents especially are very busy people, so it took a lot of effort for him to get them here today.
Your dad is going there, right?
Tell me why you didn't even come with him when he said it was time to leave.
Because I already made plans with your sister, and we planned to spend all day at the shopping mall, so I wasn't able to make it out to whatever you have planned.
So you're actually not coming today?
Well, I'm having too much fun with Martha now. I would never give all this fun I'm having with my super cute little girl today for anything.
Am I not your cute little girl as well, though?
What are you talking about, Esther? You fell far from the tree and are nothing like she is.
I can't believe that the person I call my mother would say something like that about me right now.
Well, you're not cute at all. Compared to you, Martha's like a little kitten just waiting to be played with.
I know you've been saying things like that about her all this time, and that she's always been your priority when it's come to literally everything. But come on now, Mom, I get it. You don't have to keep telling me how much cuter she is compared to me. By the way, shouldn't Martha be working today?
Working? How can you call yourself her older sister if you have no idea what she's been going on with her?
What? What do you mean by that?
Oh, she works on the weekdays and has the weekends off. How come you didn't already know that?
Wait, but she told me that she had work today, and that's why she couldn't come out to meet with my fiancé and his family.
Is that right?
So you're telling me that was a lie in order to get out of coming today?
Well, I'm sure she'd want to lie in order to evade that mess. You really think anyone wants to be part of what will be one of the most insignificant marriages on the planet? I know I don't want to be, so of course she's thought the same.
Are you kidding me?
Both myself and Martha are busy right now, and that means we really don't have the time to be thinking about you anymore. Are we done here?
I have always felt that you never seemed to care all too much about what was going on with me, even though I'm your daughter. But to think you'd go this far?
If you're going to have that wedding, then you'd better have it overseas or something.
Overseas? Why?
Because then I might actually be willing to go there for you. Of course, you'd still have to pay for me to come out there though. Both myself and Martha would come out to see your wedding and turn our time overseas into our little vacation as well.
We are planning to have the wedding in the States, though.
Well then, it better be gorgeous, or else we're not going. I'm going out of my way to go to a wedding like yours, so it better be fancy enough for myself to be there. Alright?
Why do you think we have to listen to what you want our wedding to be like when this is my fiancé's and mine?
Do you want me coming or not?
What the heck are you going on about, Mom?
If that wedding isn't the way I want it, then I'm not going.
What do you think you're doing staying away from your own daughter's wedding, though?
Good point. I'll ask my older sister to go in my place. How's that sound?
You're talking about Aunt Vicky?
The woman told me she'd stay single forever. So she has to have a lot of time on her hands, right? Why are all the oldest daughters and families like this? All of them are so useless and insignificant that the world might be better off without them.
I hope you'll apologize to all of us one day, Mom.
I'm sure right now she's even got nothing on her schedule. How about you call her and ask that she come to see your fiancé's family?
Do you really want me to do something like that? You would really want me to call Aunt Vicky and have her come in your place?
I don't care, to be honest with you. I don't care about you.
What the hell? Why would you even say something like that?
Because that's just how I feel about you. And now that you're aware, I'm going back to spending my day with Martha. You go ahead and do whatever it is you want without us. I'll let your dad know about this as well.
Hold on a sec. Mom!
Esther, you were meeting with your fiancé's family yesterday. Is your fiancé good looking at all? Where is he from and what does he do? Have you taken any pictures with him yet?
Martha, you had the day off work yesterday, huh?
Oh, did I not tell you that? I happen to work a job that has the weekends off. It's your average 9 to 5 kind of job after all. But the pay is pretty bad there, and I'm having to do all of these things that I don't like, so I'm thinking of quitting it really soon.
Already?
Yesterday, I spoke with Mom about it, and she went ahead and told me that if I wanted to quit my job, I could do that and go right back home to her and Dad. I'm thinking of doing that here soon, for real.
Have you talked with Dad yet about going back to their house, though?
Well, Dad's never really around the house much, so why would he care? And since Mom is there all the time, I think she's the one that gets the final word. Dad's kind of just the ATM now, right?
So that's how you're going to talk about Dad now? Wait. Before we get to that, let's talk about yesterday. If you knew that I'd asked you all to come meet with my fiancé and his family, why didn't you come?
Well, you never told me where to meet you at all.
That might have to do with the fact that when I had invited you the first time, you said you would work that day and wouldn't be able to make it.
Is that right? I must have looked at my calendar wrong or something. My bad.
You're bad?
Now tell me what your fiancé is like.
How about you come and see him at my wedding and you'll find out? Please. Then I can introduce him to you and everything.
When's the wedding?
We haven't settled on an exact date yet, but we're thinking in about 4 more months.
Wait, that late?
Well, we had been wondering for a while if we even wanted to have a wedding at all. But then finally, after some talking yesterday, we all agreed that it would be worth it. So we're looking for a place to have it at right now.
Well, if it's that far away still, I'm not sure what my schedule will be like yet, so I can't really say anything yet.
When we have a date, I'll make sure to tell you right away. Just make sure that in order to be at my wedding, to write that down on your schedule before anything else pops up.
Is there any reason for me to do something like that though? Is your wedding going to be overseas or something?
We plan to have it in the States.
Oh, what the heck? I was thinking that if you had it overseas, then I'd be able to go on vacation using your money. At least that's what I was thinking until you just told me you plan to have it in the US. Boring.
You really are just like Mom.
Mom said all this as well? How funny. I knew Mom and I were like 2 peas in a pod. 2 identical looking peas at that. And as you're probably aware, Mom has always loved me way more than she ever cared about you, right? It's like she's blinded by the love she has for me.
Seems that way. And because of that, my past is filled with some really terrible memories.
Terrible memories? Oh, don't be so dramatic, Esther.
Dramatic? All throughout both middle and high school, Mom would only ever get me clothes from the secondhand thrift stores. Yet when you went through middle and high school, she took you out to get all the latest fashion.
Now that you mention if she was always going into Facebook Marketplace as well to get your clothing and stuff, and half the time it was already stained.
And when it came to me wanting to go to college, my mom said I was only allowed to go to the local community college. But when it came to you, she said you could go anywhere you wanted and that she'd pay for all of it.
Did you want to go to an actual university or something? You should have asked Dad to help you with the tuition and all that then, if that's where you were looking to go.
Well, at the time I was going into college, Dad was away for a while due to work, and I couldn't really ask him for any help. All of that time, I had to deal with Mom and just hope that she didn't hate me too much to not let me go to college at all or get myself a dorm room.
I think you're being too dramatic about all that. In my case, I was able to do whatever I wanted and get whatever I wanted when Dad was gone.
That's because you're Martha. The day you were born, I wasn't given any more new clothing, and Mom didn't even bother to get me any more toys. I'd end up getting the leftovers from people in our neighborhood or from our cousins. There were even some things that Mom got for you and you wore time and time again that she'd later give to me when you grew tired of wearing it.
Well, that's wonderful considering I have a perfect sense of fashion.
That is not the problem, Martha. I don't even want to talk about this right now. I really just want for you and Mom to come to my wedding and see my fiancé and his family, please. You both already skipped out on seeing them yesterday, so please just make time for the wedding when I tell you the date.
Alright. I'll think about it with Mom. If I'm able to go, then I'll go.
The wedding will most likely be on either Saturday or Sunday, so you won't have to worry about work either.
I'm not sure about that yet. By the time, I might have myself a different job. That's if I quit the job I have now, right?
Just know that when I have the date, I'll let you know about it so you can write it down.
Please go and do that for me. Hey Esther, I'm going to go ahead and throw away all your things that are in your room.
What? Throw away all my things? What are you going on about, Mom?
Martha went and quit her job and will be coming home now, so I'm cleaning the house up for her right now. All those things in your room aren't necessary to you, right?
Are you talking about all of those books and albums I have in there still?
That's the stuff. Since Martha will be home now, I was thinking of taking your room and combining it with Martha so that she has more space. Then she can live a bit more freely now that she's an adult. And as for part of your old room, I'd like to turn it into a walk-in closet for her so she can store all her nice clothing.
Hold on a second. So you're redoing the whole second floor of the house then? That house's second floor? That's going to take a lot of money to do, right? Is Dad all right with something like that?
As long as I tell him it's for Martha, he'll be fine with it. So can I toss all the stuff? Would that be wrong of me to do?
I will come and grab it all really soon here, so please leave it alone for me.
Make sure to come get it all today.
I have work today, and after work, I need to go handle some things for the wedding. I can't make it there today.
No, you come get it all today if you really want everything.
Come on now, Mom.
If you don't come and get it all before tonight, it's all going to the trash. Tomorrow is trash day, so I'd like it all to the curb before the truck comes.
Hold on a sec. I plan to use a lot of those photos I have in the albums for my wedding, all right? Do not throw those all away.
Nobody is going to even come to your wedding, so who cares about all these pictures you have? These pictures would all be going in the front of the wedding hall, right? For people to come and look at and see history of both of you and your fiancé. Well, nobody cares about you, so you'll be fine without the pictures. People only want to see Martha.
I just called Dad and told him to make sure to grab those photos and books for me.
You called your dad just then?
I realized that you weren't going to listen to me anymore, so I had to talk to him.
You really are the worst. It's because you do things like that that I don't want to go to your wedding.
What? So you really don't want to come to my wedding?
Jesus. I want all your crap out of the room right now so it's ready for when Martha gets here. Hurry up and grab all your garbage right now. I've already warned you once, and I won't do it again.
Hold your horses, please. Mom, what did you just mean by you don't want to come to my wedding? Are you really not going to come then? I've already told you the date and place for it, though.
I am much better off only thinking of Martha as my daughter now.
Are you being serious, Mom?
Well, of course I am. I have no idea why I was given such bad luck giving birth to a woman like you first.
I get that you like her more than me and think she's just the cutest, but I really never thought you'd go as far as to say things like that to me. Well, now I get it. I get what you really think of me. I'm so sorry for forcing you to be my mom all this time.
So you're finally coming around to realizing just how little you mean to me? Oh, well, it's about dang time. Hopefully, that's going to make you a little bit more modest and stop you from talking to me all the time. I don't want to talk to someone who is nowhere as cute as their little sister. Hawaii is the best.
Hawaii? You're in Hawaii right now?
That's right. Now that I think about it, today is your wedding day, right? Well, today I've taken Martha with me on a little excursion. So we both won't be able to make it to your wedding.
What about Martha's job? How is she able to go with you when she has work?
Martha has been out of work for a long time now, ever since she quit her last job. So she's using her time off now to recharge.
To recharge?
This is her first time off to relax a little bit and recharge her batteries so that she can do even better next time. That's why I used some of the money from your dad to pay for this trip. It's also my way of saying thank you for her for buying me all those things with her first paycheck.
Is that so?
This excursion with Martha is far more important than being with you. I would much rather make these wonderful memories here, so count the two of us out of my ugly daughter's wedding.
I am not your daughter anymore, though.
What? What are you talking about, Esther? Oh, could this mean you're getting a little upset now that the fact is I won't be coming?
I have no reason to be upset over that. I'm just being honest.
Honest about what?
About how I'm not your daughter and you're not my mother. I mean, you had told me before that you were so unlucky to have me as your daughter, right?
I did say that.
That pretty much cemented the fact that you didn't need me anymore, right? You'd be better off without me as your daughter, right?
You have the right idea.
Therefore, I came to the conclusion that if I'm not going to be your daughter, then you're not going to be my mom. Meaning I no longer have a mother.
Wait, are you basically saying that you're cutting ties to me or something now?
Right on the mark.
Have you forgotten how thankful you should be for me, though, after all those years I gave having to raise you?
I actually resent all those years of having to live under your care, so please don't think I'd feel any thanks for you.
You really are such a terrible person. This is exactly the reason why I've never wanted to go to that wedding of yours.
Well, don't worry, because the wedding already happened last week.
Huh? You already had the wedding?
In the end, you never gave me a yes or a no on whether or not you'd come to the wedding, right? Martha also began to evade my questions towards her, so I decided that it'd be okay to change the date. It's not like either of you wanted to come anyway, so I thought it wouldn't really matter for either of you in the end.
Is that right? Well, you're right. I'm glad neither of us had to end up going to that waste of a time wedding.
That's too bad, actually. Because we had the wedding overseas, like you had been wanting.
Excuse me?
That picture you just took and sent to me a second ago? In the background, you can see a really majestic-looking chapel, right? That's the place. That's where my fiancé and I had the wedding.
Wait a minute. You had your wedding at a place as gorgeous as that?
In your place, I made sure to invite Aunt Vicky. And she joined Dad in coming out to act as my parents during the whole thing. Of course, I paid for them all to be here as my family and guests. And considering that both Dad and Aunt Vicky have been doing so much for me, I made sure to get them both first-class seats on the flight over.
You hold it right there. Why did you not invite me out there but instead invited my older sister?
Well, because back in the day, when you'd only give me secondhand stained-up clothing, Aunt Vicky would hear about it and take me with her to go shopping. Ever since you decided you only cared about Martha, Aunt Vicky made sure to prioritize me so that I didn't get left out. To me, the person that resembled my mother the most was her.
With your money, you booked them first-class tickets to Hawaii? That is freaking unfair and mean of you. Why did you never tell me about your wedding?
The actual reason we had to change the date for our wedding like that was because of my fiancé's parents. Both of his parents happened to run a company, and since they had this major meeting in Japan on the day of the date we'd chosen before, we decided to move the wedding 1 week earlier. That way we'd all go out to Hawaii, and then after that they could continue to fly over to Japan and wouldn't have to hop around too much.
They both have a company? And they have to go to Japan for a meeting?
That's right. You didn't even come to meet them 4 months ago. All because you never cared about me, right? So there was no way you'd know about my fiancé's parents and their careers. Right now, my fiancé's parents happen to own a company that works in creating sweets that are produced in Belgium and are then sold in the US and in Japan.
So that means your fiancé will inherit the business one day?
I believe so. That's why, although I've paid to have Dad and Aunt Vicky come out, my fiancé's parents went and handled all the other expenses like the wedding and the hotels. They also felt bad about having to move the date for our wedding to a week earlier, so that's part of why they paid for everything regarding the wedding as well. But because they decided to do that for us, the wedding turned out even more gorgeous and fancy than we had originally planned, and it made for some amazing memories. I wish I could have had more guests there because it was all so magical.
What the hell?
Now, we need to get to some of the more important stuff here. Since you might want to change sides now after learning about my fiancé and his family, I think this is where I cut ties to you. That'll be fine for you though, right?
Cut ties to me?
Well, considering that Dad will divorce you and kick you out of his house, I'm afraid you might try to come and live with me. I wouldn't want you to start trying to take my fiancé and his parents' money, because that might start to upset them as well.
Wait, what's this about your dad divorcing me? What's going on here, Esther? I never heard anything about this.
When you get back from Hawaii, I'm sure he'll talk with you about it. Has he not sent you anything at all yet, though?
He had said he wanted to talk about something important, but I just assumed it was going to be about him going to another business trip or something.
You really have no interest in anything other than Martha and yourself, then. Dad is no longer needing to go on any business trips or move out of state for years at a time anymore.
What?
He's moved higher up in the company now and is no longer asked to leave town for work.
Is that right?
And, well, Dad has been planning to divorce you now and sell the house.
But we only just got around to renovating the second floor.
In order to do that whole renovation, you used a lot of Dad's money without his permission, right? And that trip to Hawaii was also paid for with Dad's money. Really, you just take all of Dad's money and use it on whatever you and Martha want without asking him first. I think he's really grown tired of being like a bag of money to you and nothing else.
Wait, Esther, if he ends up divorcing me and we lose the house, what's going to happen to Martha and I? Martha doesn't have a job right now, and I've always been a housewife to your dad.
Well, it's time you start planning out what you both will do next.
There's no way we can start doing that all from Hawaii.
I'm sorry, but this is it from me. I'm cutting ties to the both of you now, so I won't ever talk to you or Martha again. And that also means I won't be helping you any.
No way. So you're just going to throw away your mom and little sister now?
How am I throwing you both away? I just said I was cutting ties is all.
That means you're pretty much throwing us away. Hey, Esther?
You have done so well so far with just Martha being the center point of your life, right? That should mean as long as you stick with and care for her, everything will be just fine for you both. You never needed someone like me around, so I'm going to stop being your older daughter once and for all. Bye-bye now. After getting back home from Hawaii, my dad went and got the divorce and kicked both Martha and my mom out of his house. The only money that my mom got in the divorce, as part of the split properties, was all that money she had used from my dad without ever asking. My dad told my mom that her taking Martha and herself to Hawaii with his money was the last straw, and what made him go for the divorce. Both Martha and my mom then went and tried asking my aunt and uncle for help after losing their home. However, everyone was already upset with those two for not coming to my wedding, but were also aware of the horrible way they treated me all the time, and so they turned Martha and my mom away. As of right now, those two have found themselves a super cheap apartment to live in as they try and figure out what to do next.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.
Hey, Mom, listen, I'm finally going to be able to go to that college. And I was able to pass all my exams and interviews for the college of my dreams. So starting this fall, I'll be able to finally step into that college as a student. That's fantastic to hear. Did you really end up passing all your exams and interviews? I'm so happy to hear all of this from you finally, June. Congratulations. Not only are you going to be able to attend that school now, but you'll even have the chance to become a Harvard alumni. That's so amazing. You really did give it your all there, and this is the reward you're getting for it. Well, I did end up taking after Dad and became a really intelligent woman. I could really say that passing those exams to get into Harvard was a piece of cake for someone with my genes. You have that right. Ever since you began to speak, you've been just like your dad, and you were so smart. Well, now that I've heard the good news from you, we're going to have to prepare a celebration. What do you want to eat for dinner tonight? I'll give it my all to make you whatever kind of dinner you ask for. You don't have to worry about tonight. As a celebration for my passing my final year, Dad is taking me out to eat. Just the two of you? Am I not allowed to come and celebrate with the two of you? You know that you're not allowed to. I mean, all you are is a high school graduate. What? Dad ended up continuing his education doing postgraduate work and even now is working in the labs at the school. And I turned out just like him, having passed the entrance exams into Harvard. Do you really think there's room for a high school graduate between he and I? I'm sorry, but I won't be happy having someone who's never been to college celebrating my graduation. June, what are you talking about right now? I get that you feel on top of the world right now after having passed all your interviews at Harvard, but you still haven't become a student there, right? I understand that you've passed the exams and all that, but you still have to wait until you've graduated high school yourself. So at the moment, you're not even considered a high school graduate, right? Talking like you know anything is really getting on my nerves. Especially since you've never gone through any sort of education after high school. You are the number one idiot in this family, so you have no right to be talking to me like you're a distinguished person. Did you just call me an idiot? Hold your horses there, June. Did you really just say that to your own mother? Who do you think it was that allowed you to take those exams for Harvard, as well as allowed you to go study after school in those cram classes? And who has it been that's been here supporting you this whole time through all of it? We all know it's been Dad who's been there supporting me and helping me get through all my classes and exams. He's the one that works in the research department within that university, so it has to be him. He's from a very amazing college himself, as well as has the brains of a scientist, so I know he's been the one. You don't feel that I could have been the one that helped you through all of that? I'm the one that's been working a lot through my career to support both you and your father, June. And I've been the one paying for all the groceries in this house, along with all the bills, totaling around $2,000 a month. Haven't you realized that it's been me paying for all of that? Oh, what are you trying to say then? I'm surprised Dad ever married you when all you are is a high school graduate with little to show for it. I think he was very generous for allowing you to become a part of his family, and maybe that's why you're paying $2,000 a month. What? In other words, you working your butt off to pay the bills does not matter to me because you're just paying Dad back for what he's had to sacrifice by marrying you. And you are a high school graduate, so whatever work you do is probably way too simple and requires no thinking. So compared to what you do for this family, Dad's job is way more difficult and amazing. He's a researcher for a university, so the money he makes must be at least 10 times what you bring in. Excuse me? Listen, June. Have you really thought of me, your mother, like that this whole time? It's not that I've always been thinking that. Rather, it's all just facts. You are the number one idiot in the house and have little to show for after you got out of high school. So I have something to say to a mother like you. And what is it that you'd like to say? I would like for you to get the hell out of this house. I am about to become a Harvard student in the next few months, and having a high school graduate like you in this house is just embarrassing. So while Dad and I are out celebrating me graduating high school and getting into Harvard, you can stay home packing your things and getting out of here. Huh? So I'm the embarrassing one. And what do you mean, get out of the house? What are you talking about, June? I spoke with Dad about this already, but he says when I start to go to Harvard, things are going to get a bit tougher for me. I'm going to have to start learning a lot of new things, and I'll need the right environment to study in full time. But if there's a huge idiot in the house with me, that environment, which I'm supposed to study in, is going to fall apart. So that's why I'd like for you to get out of this house. This is not the kind of thing I'd like to be hearing from you right now, June. What kind of reasoning is that for you wanting your mother to leave her house? I'm sorry, Mom, but Dad agrees with me 100%. He said in order to help me graduate from Harvard, he's willing to divorce you. What did you just say? Us intelligent folk only do our best when surrounded by others that are just as intelligent as us. But if there's someone of mass stupidity amongst us, then the intelligence in the whole family begins to break down. And Dad does not want me turning into an idiot like you. What? Has your father really said things like that about me? Has he really gone and called me an idiot like that? He has. That's why you need to hurry up and get out of this house. There's no need for a mother in this house that is less intelligent than her own daughter. Having a parent that's ever only graduated from high school is super embarrassing. Are you really okay with that? I have Dad here to support me, so I'm totally okay with you going. Even without my stupid mother here in this house, I still have an admirable father that'll make sure to meet all my needs. We won't even ask you to pay for my college or for me to be fed or dressed in this house, so get lost already. Well then, I'll take you up on that wish of yours and leave this house. I'll fill out the divorce papers before I leave, so all Dad has to do is sign them.
Thank you so much for filling out and leaving the divorce paperwork here for me yesterday. Just a second ago, I handed them all into the city office.
Well, that's a wrap then. From now on, you and I are divorced.
That's right, and we have no more use for you. I'll make sure to raise June properly from now on, so you won't have to worry about what's happening with her.
But will you be able to manage that? Up until now, you forced me to do everything around that house, as well as raise her while you've stayed out. And without me, there would be nobody there to pay for the house and your guys' food, so how do you plan to carry on now?
Huh?
Well, I'm telling the truth, right? I do think it's pretty great that you're working in that lab at the university in town doing research. But even if you're working there with a master's degree in your field, you aren't making nearly that much. And when it comes to what you are making, you're putting most of that back into your research, right? That's the whole reason why you've had me be the one to use my earnings up to support the household. If it wasn't for all the extra work I've put in, I'd never have any savings to work with right now.
Well, don't worry about that because there's been a major change for me as well. I have just been contacted by a company overseas that is willing to hire me to go work for them.
What? You got an offer from an overseas company to go out and work for them? That right there is an absolutely amazing thing for you, right?
With where I'll be going, it's expected that I'll be making around $500,000 a year doing my research for them. And depending on the outcome of my research, I can expect to be getting close to $1 million in bonuses.
You'll be able to make that kind of money?
That's what you can expect from an overseas company willing to hire an American to go work for them. Unlike the universities and companies here, they are willing to pay a pretty penny for an American researcher with my background. I'll be able to continue the work I love while making massive amounts of money per year.
I see. You asked for a divorce because you've been offered such a great job promising lots of money. I was only ever useful to you because I was able to pay for whatever you couldn't afford, which was mostly everything.
Right now, I'm considered a top researcher in my field who is about to go global. And I should not have to continue to be married to a high school graduate like you any longer. You would only bring shame to my image. When I'm overseas, I'm going to be invited to all sorts of dinners with other elite people. And I can't be bringing a woman like you along with me.
So even you like to call me an embarrassment, huh? Not even a single thanks has come out of your mouth after all I've given for you and June. Instead, constantly looking down on me for never graduating from any higher level of education.
Man, I cannot believe I came out on top being offered to work for such an elite company. And not just by any elite company, but a company called Greenberg that specializes in all kinds of technology.
Greenberg?
Oh, even a high school graduate like you knows the name of this company. Thanks to the research I'll be able to do for their company, the stock prices are bound to go up for the company. I'd recommend buying all you can of this company's stock so that you will also have some money in the future.
Hold on a second. Isn't this all a bit strange to you? I've read about how that company is no longer planning to work with researchers from your department anymore.
Huh? They don't?
As your wife, I've always kept up on the news regarding your job and companies relating to it. And I think I read about this on one of the foreign news web pages. From what I read regarding Greenberg, they're starting to slow down any research that has to do with what you specialize in.
No way a high school graduate that's ever been to college could actually understand foreign news well enough to get that from it. I think you have a big misunderstanding is all. Why would a company like Greenberg be asking me to work for them if they don't plan to do any research in my field of expertise?
I wouldn't be so sure about that, Jeremy. These days, you can use translating apps to translate all sorts of web pages so that you can fully understand them. I think before you take their offer, you should look into their company a bit more. And maybe take one more look at the offer they sent you as well.
Shut up already. I'm not going to listen to the woman I just divorced talk about my work like she knows a dang thing about it. I'm sure you're just trying to get me to reject the offer now because I'll be making a whole lot of money with it. Well, no matter how hard you try, I'm not going to turn that company down.
Really? I'm not saying all of this because you have a chance to make a lot of money.
Well, you can stop with all this mundane crap that you keep spewing at me now, right? I'm going to accept this generous offer and then go work for a company that's willing to pay me properly for my work. I would no longer need your help anymore either, Sally.
I even tried to warn you about all of this, but I don't know how else to help you now. You run along and don't worry about your ex-wife anymore and go do whatever pleases you. But if you come to regret your decision later on, don't come crawling back to me crying.
You think I'll come crawling back to you? You are nothing more than a brainless woman who offers no further use to my family. You're the one that better stay away from us when you come to regret never ever getting a proper education.
Now that I think about it, I'd like you to start sending me money again and paying for me to go to Harvard. By the end of this week, I'd like you to put around $10,000 into Dad's bank account for me. Shouldn't that dad of yours that you brag about so much be able to pay for you to stay in school? He should be able to, but so far he's still not been paid by the company he's working for at the moment. Seems he accidentally signed that contract, not realizing that he'd only get paid at the end of each year working in that company. He'll be making $500,000 by the end of the year, but for right now he doesn't have the money to pay for me. What? He only gets paid once a year? Apparently the company he works for now doesn't pay the same way companies in the US do. But unfortunately, that's not a good enough reason for Harvard, and they want me to pay for schooling by the end of this month. So for the time being, I'll have you pay for me to go to school. We'll make sure to pay you back later on after Dad gets his money. I can't believe this. I thought even Jeremy would have been able to see past that offer he was given. I suppose that he hasn't told you the truth yet about his work then? Huh? The truth? Well, it's not just him though, but you as well, June. You and your dad both fell for that crap even though you both claimed to be so intelligent. When really the two of you are straight up clowns. Huh? Who the hell are you calling a clown? And what are you talking about with Dad not seeing past that offer? I'm talking about how your dad, that you brag so much about, is a massive idiot. Right now, he's not working for a company overseas. And that's why he'll not be getting an income of $500,000. Which means you both can expect nothing by the end of the year. Huh? Really, he's been played as a fool with that offer. And this whole thing about him getting any sort of money at the end of the year is a lie he's made up to fool you too. And another thing, No matter what kind of situation you end up in down the road, I'm not planning on paying for you to go to school. Now go off and talk with your dad about his current situation and make sure to pay your school by whatever deadline they've given you.
Wait a moment. What do you mean Dad isn't working for a company overseas right now? There's no way he'd turn down an offer like that promising huge amounts of money.
To tell you the truth, there never was an offer like that, June. Just as I had thought, your dad has been played a fool by some kind of random email.
Huh? What do you mean random email?
I'm sure that your dad did happen to get an email from an overseas company with some kind of offer in it. But I think the company that sent him that offer made a mistake and sent it to the wrong person who ended up being your dad. They had another researcher in mind, but ended up sending the offer to your dad by mistake.
What?
I know about all of this because I'd been the wife of your dad for so many years. I kept my eyes and ears open in the communities he works in, and that's why I know more than you guys would think about him. If you want evidence as to why that offer wasn't for him, your dad is still in the US, right? He should have been relocated to France had he accepted the offer and been hired.
Now that you mention it, Dad is still in the US. But he's always telling me that he's busy getting ready to leave to go to the new company. And there was a day he came home and was packing a lot of his things, so... Wait, could this mean that right now Dad doesn't have a job?
Well, you'll have to ask your dad about that if you want an answer. Now, since you know more about the truth, I'll be going. Good luck getting the money you need to stay in school.
You've really done it now, telling June the truth about me. Why have you done this to me?
You're the one to blame for continuing to live a lie like that in front of her. Anyway, what are you going to do about paying for June to stay in school? I hear that she needs $10,000 for this month, but I doubt you have that kind of money just laying around, right? I received pretty much everything that was in our savings in the divorce, so there's got to be nothing in there.
Yeah, that's right. I don't have anything in savings at the moment. And that's why things regarding her schooling and living costs are getting pretty tight, especially since I was fired from my job.
You were fired from your lab?
When I got that email with the offer regarding the job overseas, I jumped on it and turned in my letter of resignation. But right after doing that, I realized that the offer wasn't meant for me. I tried to get the university to throw that resignation letter away, but it was too late for me and they said no. I learned that the university had been planning to get rid of me for a while now, and that was the perfect chance for them.
Oh my, that's a bummer for you then. So then you really are unemployed right now.
Even if I don't have a job right now, I'm a researcher. I'm sure that someday soon, the research that I do will change this world in some way for the better. But it's screwed up that that university and this world don't see how important my work is yet.
That's right. You've sacrificed more than anyone for your research and everything it relates to. And so I'll be waiting for the day that all you've sacrificed is put to good use and changes this world. But you ended up throwing out the one person that funded your research in any way, and I wonder if anyone else will be willing to listen to what you have to say.
Huh?
Your research is important, but you also have to find someone willing to actually fund it for you. But for some reason, you've only ever cared about your research and not about those who put their money into it for you. Always talking about those that don't support you as idiots. And that those that do not understand the importance of your work as inferior. If you keep thinking about those that fund you or consider funding you like that, then you're going to get nowhere with your research.
Huh? How does someone like you know anything about the type of work I do?
I know everything about the work you do, Jeremy. I'm the one that translated a lot of your papers for those overseas to understand, as well as have held relations with different institutions that have been wanting to fund you.
Ugh.
As you sat there doing your research all day and night, you made me handle all the public relations and things regarding business. I even did all of that for you while you continued to call me an idiot for never going any further past high school. Well, you've done it now, Jeremy.
Well, that's...
Well, don't worry, because I'm thankful for what you did. Because of all that work you forced me into, I was able to work from home all the time. I was able to start working for other researchers as well, doing their translations and things like that, and have made off with this work rather well. Right now, I'm making somewhere around $80,000 a year with this kind of work, and I don't even have to leave the house.
What? You You're making that much a year from home?
There are a lot of researchers and companies asking for my skills, so I don't have to worry about money. And when I was still married to you, most of what I earned went to supporting you and June. But now, without you both in my life, I'm able to save up lots of money.
What?
I was a bit worried about my life after a divorce with you. But with a yearly income of around $80,000, I'm able to make ends meet.
You're lying, right? All I am is unemployed now. The man who graduated with a master's and is a researcher is currently without any work now. Why should a high school graduate like you be able to make that much?
That's because I worked my hardest to help support your research and the family. I literally sacrificed years of my life in working my job, doing all the chores and raising June just so that you could focus on your research. I even studied financing in my free time to learn how to manage the money better. And because of that, I'm able to do what I do now with a steady income and no worries.
Hey, Sally, what do you think about the two of us getting back together again? Come back here and start funding my research again.
Who the hell would want to fund your research, you dunce? If you're as intelligent as you always bragged about, then you can make up a way to bring in money and fund yourself.
I never knew that you brought in that much money every year, Mom. Please, Mom, can you please start paying for me to stay in school for Dad?
I'm sorry, but someone who never went anywhere after high school doesn't know how to send money to your dad for him to pay for your schooling. And you shouldn't have to ask for my money anyways, considering I'm so stupid.
Please don't say things like that now. Just help me. If I don't pay for my semester soon, I'm not going to be able to stay in school and will have to drop out. And then all that work I put into passing those exams will have been for nothing. I won't even be able to get into college anymore, Mom.
Well, that just means you'll turn out like me as a high school graduate. Welcome to the life of us stupid people that never chose to move on to a higher education, June.
I want to apologize for everything I ever said to you before, Mom. I'm so sorry for treating you like an idiot for so long. It's been all because of the money you brought into the family that Dad and I were able to study what we wanted and go where we pleased, so thank you. I want to keep saying sorry for what I've said, so please forgive me in return.
Why should I forgive you? Do you realize just how much you hurt me after what you did to me recently? You were able to get accepted into Harvard after all, so you should be able to understand that, right?
But, Mom!
Stop asking me for help, and do what you can on your own. You also have your father that you brag so much about there with you. I'm sure two extremely intelligent people like you can make something happen. Now, you both have a good one. After that, I immediately changed both my phone number and email to avoid those two from ever talking to me again. And because of that, I've never had to hear from them again. As from what I've heard through the grapevine, June ended up never being able to pay for her first semester and had to drop out while bawling her eyes out. As of right now, she's been working multiple part-time jobs trying to save up to go to community college in the future. And as for my ex-husband, he ended up finding work as an office worker and spends his days working a job that has nothing to do with his master's degree. And on top of that, he often thinks of himself as better than everyone else because of his past as a researcher. But his boss does his best to put Jeremy right back into his place by yelling at him in front of his coworkers. As for those two's life back at home, they are only able to afford gas station meals as they try to save for their future. But of course, that way of life that they've chosen has nothing to do with me. In my case, I've been able to find a nice apartment where I can spend my days working at home and enjoying the money I bring home. I'm able to keep all the money I earn for myself while enjoying the work that I do, which makes me very thankful for what those two did to me not too long ago.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.
Lori, are you there? I just wanted to extend a huge congratulations to you today again. You and my little Thomas looked so amazing today. It really was enough to bring a tear to my eye. Several, actually. But I'm so happy that you two are finally married. I know, right? It really was just such an amazing wedding. Everything went just as I imagined it. You know, it was actually Thomas and I that came up with the design scheme for the whole thing. So that makes me even more happy that you enjoyed the wedding since I did so much to help plan it. Wait a second. You mean that you and Thomas came up with that decoration all by yourselves? Yeah, we wanted to save money where we could, and I already kind of had a vision. We were even the ones who put the decorations up. We tried to do everything that we could by ourselves to save money. But I'm a little confused. I gave you guys $100,000 to use on the wedding, but you still tried to cut costs down? Yeah, pretty much. Weddings are expensive. Right, but you two came to me when you got engaged and cried about how you didn't have any money at all for a wedding. You said you wanted to make it as grand as it could be, and so I offered to give you $100,000. But you're still telling me that that money wasn't enough for the wedding? Well, I guess things were just a lot more expensive than we originally thought. You know how bad the inflation is. So by the time we got everything that we wanted, we were already over budget. I see, but I guess you did throw a spectacular wedding, I have to say that much. Although, if I'm being honest, it didn't feel like $100,000 wedding. I mean, the food was kind of bland, and there weren't many options for drinks. No, something isn't right here. I want you to come out and tell me the truth about your wedding right now. I told you that we used all the money already. Who cares how we spent it? You gave it to us to help celebrate, and we spent it on ourselves. Isn't that enough? You really can't give someone a gift and then get mad when they use it however they want. Are you kidding me? It wasn't a gift for you two to spend on whatever you wanted. Are you seriously doing this to me right now on my own wedding day? I can't believe that you are seriously trying to ruin my day right now. Here I thought we were going to be able to get along, but you're just being a jerk. You really need to watch your mouth and think about how you talk to me now that I'm married to your son. Excuse me? You can't be serious. Are you really mad at me for asking a few questions about what you spent all that money on? I mean, I gave you that money for your wedding. I really don't think that you get to be mad at me for being a little surprised to find out that you didn't use it for that is all. Just shut up already, you annoying old hag. If you're going to keep bugging me about this, then I just won't ever talk to you. I already hate having to communicate with you as it is. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm off to enjoy my honeymoon. So you're really just going to run away from this? I don't believe you, Lori. Hey there, Jenny. Did you finally get over yourself yesterday? Are you really greeting me like this after what you said to me yesterday? I thought I wasn't going to be hearing from you for a while. Well, I got a good night's sleep, and now I'm recharged and ready to deal with you. Actually, the thing is that there is something that I wanted to talk to you about. Do you have the time to chat? I have a really bad feeling of whatever it is that you're going to say next. So if you wouldn't mind just cutting straight to the point, that would be great. Right, well, the thing is that Thomas and I are going to be moving into your house. So would you mind moving out of there by this weekend, please? Hold on a second. You and my son are going to be moving into my house and you want me to move? Well, duh, we're married, so the next thing we have to do is find a place to live and then get a new car, too. Thomas and I talked and we agreed that since things are a little tight right now, we could just take your house instead of worrying about finding a new one. You're just going to take my house? I don't even know how to respond to that. And this is supposed to be different from the two of you just coming to live with me? Live with you? No. I do not want to be sharing a home with you one bit. The only people who are going to be living there are going to be Thomas and I, got it? We don't need or want you there, so go ahead and pack your bags and leave. So you're really being serious about this then? You're being ridiculous. Well, I know that your husband died a long time ago, so it's not like you can really say that you need all that space yourself, right? I'm sure that house is way too big for just you. It is true that I have a lot of rooms that I'm not using, but since that's the case, I don't see why you both can't just come and live with me. Because I already told you that I don't want to live with you, and I'm sure that you don't want to live with me. We just won't get along, so if we're both in the same house, then one of us will have to go. And since you were probably going to leave the house to Thomas in your will anyways, you can just do us a favor and give it to us now. And just who said that Thomas was going to get the house? I never ever said anything like that to him. Well, sure, but he's your eldest child. Who else would get the house? His sister Maggie moved out too, so you don't have anyone else to give the house to anyways. I don't really see what the problem is if we ask to live there a bit earlier. You two can really only think of yourselves, can't you? You really think you can just kick me out of my house like this? Have you even thought of where I might be able to go if I were to up and move out of here for you two? No, not really. I haven't given that any thought at all. I don't really care where some old bag of bones like you goes, to be perfectly honest. Maybe you could go and rent some tiny little apartment or something. And if I go and do that, are you two going to be paying my rent on the place? That's the least you could do if you're getting a whole house out of this. You really think that we're going to do anything to help you out? No, that is not going to happen. You should still have some money that your husband left you when he died. Why don't you just use that? Oh, go and live with Maggie or something like that. So you're just going to kick me out of my own home, and you don't care at all what happens to me next? Why should I move out and give you the house then? This whole conversation is just ridiculous. You have to move out, though. We've already decided we're moving in, and we've canceled the lease to our place. We've already started packing our bags and putting things in boxes, so you have to be out of the house by this weekend. You really expect me to just go along with this? Have you lost your mind? You will leave the house. If you don't, then we'll have to take matters into our own hands, and you won't like that. Okay, I guess if you really want to live with us in your house, then you can. But you have to pay us rent. Excuse me, I am going to have to pay you two rent? You really just don't know when to quit, do you? Well, if you don't want to pay rent, then you can move out of the house. How about that? You were going to leave it to your son anyways, so just leave. I feel like I'm giving you plenty of options here. It isn't my fault if you're going to be unreasonable and turn them all down. You call those options? Both of those are just terrible, and you didn't consult me about any of this beforehand. Just how much would you be charging me for rent anyways? I was afraid that you would try to take me up on that. But if you want to keep living in your house with Thomas and I, you'll have to pay us $2,000 a month. You're going to charge me that much money just to live in my own house? That's right. If you pay us $2,000 a month, then I'll let you live with us. If you have a problem with that, then you know what your other option is. I would rather not have to live with you at all, if I'm being honest. So then you're going to move out for us? Great! Just make sure you're out of the house by this weekend. Maybe you could go and ask Maggie if you can live with her. Maggie, are you there? I'm really sorry to ask this so suddenly of you, but could I maybe stay with you for a few days? I've been kicked out of my own house. Wait, what? Mom, what do you mean by that? What happened? Well, I got some messages from Lori, and she was telling me that her and Thomas couldn't afford moving into a new place, so she said they were taking over my house. She told me that I was going to give the house to Thomas anyways, so I might as well just do it earlier. And you just handed them the house without a fight? Why would you do that, Mom? Because I have had just about enough of these two. I just didn't want to deal with them anymore, and so I gave them what they wanted. But now I'm working on getting Thomas completely removed from my will. You're going to cut Thomas out of your will? Are you sure about that, Mom? That's right. If Thomas wasn't going to stick up for me and put his crazy wife in her place, then I don't need him. Anyways, I know it's last minute, but could I please stay with you for a while? I really never thought that I would be in this position, and yet here I am. I know that your husband is away on a business trip right now, so if I could just stay with you until he gets back, I would really appreciate it. Mom, of course you can come and stay with us. That's not a problem at all. In fact, I was actually starting to feel a bit lonely without my husband around. I'll talk to him and explain what's happening. Thank you so much. I feel so bad for dropping it on you so suddenly like this, but I still just have so much I have to deal with on my end. Of course. Well, you feel free to come here, settle down, and take care of whatever business you have. And if there's anything I can do to help, just let me know. If you're cutting off Thomas for this, then I think that I should too. Are you sure about that? He is your brother, after all. You don't have to do that just because I am. I know, but you know that Thomas and I have never gotten along, really. He would always act so entitled just because he was older. You know, he even bragged to me about how he was going to inherit the house and would always lord it over me. Honestly, I think he and Lori are perfect for each other, and I mean that in the worst way. They've both been awful to me. You mean that Lori has said mean things to you as well? That's right. She came up to me after her wedding and told me that she was going to do everything in her power to make sure I would inherit nothing. She said she was going to make it so that Thomas would get everything. And just who does she think she is to be making these kinds of decisions? Well, I guess she thinks that because she's married to the eldest child in our family that she has some rights to our stuff. I've actually been thinking of cutting those two out of my life for some time now, to be perfectly honest. I see. Well, if we're both on the same page, that is good news at least. Anyways, I'll pack up my things and head over to your place soon. Hey there, Jenny. You know, I had no idea that your house was this musty before coming here. I have no idea how you expect Thomas and I to live comfortably in a place like this. Are you really complaining about the house that you just stole from me? You two said you couldn't even afford your own place, and you have the nerve to complain about my house? Don't start getting so upset just because we kicked you out. I already told you, you were going to give up this house anyway, so what's the point in getting mad? But I suppose Thomas and I have our work cut out for us in terms of renovating this place. So anyways, if you could go ahead and send us around $100,000 so that we can start that process, that'd be great. What? You really think that I'm going to give you another $100,000 after what you did to me? You really must be delusional. But this house is so old, it just won't do it all. Besides, your eldest child is living here. Don't you want him to be comfortable with his wife and future kids? Hurry up and cough up the money. I don't even know what to say to that. You really have gone crazy if you think that you can order me around like this. I want to hear less complaining and more money going into my bank account. Got it? If you do that, we'll let you come over and see what we've done to the place afterwards, okay? I seriously have no words for you. Well, how about, yes, Lori? There's 2 words that you could say to settle this whole thing. You were never going to give this house to Maggie or anyone else. It was always going to be ours anyway. The least you could do is help us make it into our dream home. And you think that I should just happily go along and give you all the money you want? Well, if you don't give me the money, then you can kiss ever seeing your son or me again goodbye. You'll have no one to count on but Maggie, do you understand? So if you want some insurance for your old age, you'll pay up what we're asking. I actually don't think I will. In fact, I don't even want to see either of you. So you aren't going to get a single cent from me. Wait, what? What is this? What are you getting at? I mean that I wouldn't give you the money anyways because it's a rental, and you'd be an idiot to try and renovate the place. Wait, what? What do you mean this is rental? Are you serious? That's right, but I guess you two didn't even think to check about that. You just went along with this idiotic plan of yours. Anyways, I wipe my hands of both of you. Good luck with everything. Oh, wait, just hold on for a second. What do you mean a rental? We're in a house. Have you just been renting this place? I thought that this was your family home or something like that, but you've actually just been renting it? Well, it is our family home, but I was renting it from Maggie. I had already given her the house, you see, and I was paying rent to her to let me live there. Hold on a second. You mean to tell me that you'd already given the house away? But Thomas and I knew nothing about that at all. Well, I gave the two of you $100,000 for your wedding, right? That was basically Thomas's entire inheritance. I also wanted to make sure that Maggie got something of equal value, so I gave her the house. Oh, wait. The money for the wedding was Thomas's inheritance? Well, Maggie had actually been wanting to move to a new place with her husband, but then he was sent on that long business trip. She had been so busy that she couldn't even think about trying to find a new home. I told her that she could have my home, and when her husband came back, she could sell the house and use it for her new one. No, you've got to be kidding me. That can't be right. But you were right about the house being too big for me. I was going to move into a smaller apartment, but Maggie said it was fine if I lived with her until her husband returned. Although she told me that since there were new tenants in her home, that she was going to start charging rent more seriously. You'll both owe her $1,500 a month. Wait, what? You mean that she was charging you even less than that? But she can't charge us for rent. We're her brother and sister-in-law.
I'm afraid that Maggie doesn't see how that changes anything.
But why? I don't understand.
I heard from Maggie about all the horrible things that you told her. Did you really think that she was just going to let you live there for free after that?
But $1,500 a month is way too much for this place. I mean, the average market rate for houses around here is only $800 a month.
Well, I suppose it might be a bit above market rate, but she does own the house, so she has the right to make the rules. If you have a problem with it, take it up with her.
You can't do this to us. It isn't fair. You have to do something. You're the mom. You can put a stop to all of this.
You two really do just care about yourselves, don't you? You're more than happy to insult the people you should be getting along with until you need help. I don't have time for this nonsense.
What do you mean? It isn't nonsense. This is our lives that we're talking about here.
I see. Well, if you don't like it, you can always just move out, you know. It's that or pay rent every month. The choice is yours.
Mom, how could you do this to us? Why aren't you doing more to help us? I mean, I thought I was supposed to get this house. You already gave it to Maggie, and you're really going to let her charge us rent? That's absurd.
I'm sorry, but weren't you two asking me to pay $2,000 a month to live there? You're getting a discount from where I'm standing.
But, I mean, that was just for you. We just charged you so that you would choose to move out instead.
Okay, now repeat what you just sent me one more time to yourself, and I think you'll understand what's going on. But honestly, I am ashamed of you, Thomas. How could you do something like this to your own mother?
But the house was going to be mine anyways, and we really needed a place to stay. You aren't really going to cut us off, are you?
I'm afraid that I've made up my mind, and I don't want anything to do with you or Lori ever again. I gave you plenty of money for your wedding, and not only did you lie to me about how you spent it, but you had the gall to ask me for more after kicking me out. I really don't care at all what happens to the two of you from here on out. You both are on your own.
Please, Mom! Things weren't supposed to happen like this. What about when you're old and you need to call on me for help?
You think that I would ever want to call on you for help when I get old? I have more than enough saved up to afford a decent nursing service. I don't need you. In fact, I never ever want to hear from you again. Do you understand me?
Are you happy now? Thomas and I decided that we can't afford to live in that house any longer. But since this was all your fault, the least you can do is give us money to find a new place.
There you go again, trying to make demands of me.
Well, I am still your daughter-in-law, and you really did us dirty. You need to compensate us for all that you've put us through.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Please, it would be different if Thomas had a good job, but he just quit his last one and he hasn't had any luck finding work. We really are on a tight budget and we need your money.
So my idiot son quit his job for some reason and you think that's my problem? I'm sorry, but you two are on your own.
You can't be serious about that. We're begging you here.
Well, then you are wasting your breath because you are not going to be getting a cent from me. I've already made that very clear. Now, if you don't have anything else to say, I think that this conversation between us is over. Have a nice life. In the end, I heard that Thomas and Lori had to move into a tiny apartment and are doing their best to pinch every penny they have. It was only later that I learned they spent about half the money I gave them for the wedding on slot machines, if you can believe it. They actually spent so much money that they went into debt. Thomas tried reaching out to Maggie to beg her to tell him where I was living, but she pretended like she had no clue and told him she couldn't get a hold of me either. Thanks to my smart daughter, I can finally enjoy my old age in quiet peace.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.